The Vanishing Portrait, Part 2. The Man Who Shouldn't Exist. Detective Kabir Ahuja barely slept that night. Arjun Malhotra, a man declared dead, was out there, running around like a ghost with fingerprints and footprints and a mocking note. By sunrise, Kabir was back at Roshni's studio. Roshni looked exhausted, but determined. "Detective, we have to find him. He knows me. Somehow." Kabir nodded. "Show me everything you remember. Anything strange before the portrait appeared." Roshni thought carefully, then whispered, "There was one thing. A week ago, I dreamt of a man standing in my studio. I couldn't see his face, just his gray coat." Kabir froze. "Dreams don't paint portraits, Roshni." "I know," she said softly, "but what if someone else was here that night?" Kabir's eyes narrowed. They needed answers, real ones. Kabir began a deeper search of the studio. Behind a shelf packed with old canvases, he noticed something odd, faint scrape marks on the floor. He pushed the shelf. To Roshni's shock, it slid aside. Behind it was a small door, old, wooden, locked from the outside. Kabir forced it open. Inside was a tiny hidden room, no bigger than a closet. Dark, dusty, but one thing was unmistakable. A large, unfinished portrait of Roshni, painted halfway. Kabir stepped closer. The signature on the canvas read, "Arjun Malhotra, June, 6 months ago." Roshni gasped. "That's impossible. I've never met him." Kabir touched the canvas. The paint was dry, old. He turned to Roshni. "Arjun was here. He was watching you long before the portrait appeared." Roshni's face turned pale. "Why me?" she whispered. Kabir dug through the tiny room. He found a dusty sketchbook, several charcoal drawings, newspaper cuttings about Roshni, and one photograph, a black and white photo of a young Arjun, smiling. Next to him, Roshni as a toddler. Kabir and Roshni stared at it, stunned. "That can't be me," Roshni said. "But it is. That's your childhood, Mark, the little scar near your eyebrow." Kabir placed the photo on the table. "Roshni, do you know him from your childhood?" Roshni shook her head, trembling. "I don't. I can't remember." Kabir's mind raced. Something wasn't adding up. Why would a dead man leave clues that he knew her? Why hide in her studio? Why paint her? A sudden knock at the door cut Kabir's thoughts. He opened it quickly, flashlight raised. But no one was there. Only something on the floor, a folded page from the same sketchbook, with fresh gray paint on it. It showed a drawing of Kabir and Roshni standing together, looking at this exact door. Kabir's skin crawled. He's watching us, right now. And then they heard it, a soft whistle, that same slow, eerie tune. It came from the rooftop. Kabir ran. Kabir burst onto the roof, panting. There, leaning against the ledge, Arjun Malhotra, tall, thin, gray coat flowing in the wind. Very much alive, but something was different. His eyes looked tired, sunken, but gentle. Kabir stepped forward cautiously. "Arjun Malhotra, you're supposed to be dead." Arjun smiled sadly. "That would have made things easier." Roshni stepped onto the roof behind Kabir. "Why me?" she whispered. Arjun looked straight at her. "Because I needed you to remember me." Roshni's eyebrows furrowed in confusion. "I never knew you." Arjun shook his head. "You were too young. I used to babysit you. I wanted to become a great artist one day." He paused. "But then I got sick. A rare condition. The doctors told me I had months." Kabir frowned. "But the death certificate, forged," Arjun said quietly. "I didn't want my family to see me fade away. I left, disappeared." He gestured to the studio below. "I found peace watching Roshni become the artist I once dreamed of being." Roshni's eyes filled. But the portrait, why appear now? Arjun lowered his head. Because I'm dying. Truly this time. He tapped his chest weakly. And I wanted to leave behind something meaningful. Kabir stepped forward. You couldn't just tell her? Arjun gave a sad smile. I'm a coward, detective. But when I saw her kindness, her art, I wanted to paint her world one last time. He pointed at the empty frame. I painted my own portrait, so you'd come looking. So she'd know. Roshni whispered, but you scared us. Arjun laughed softly. Artists are dramatic. Kabir folded his arms. And the fresh paint? Arjun raised his hands in surrender. I was here. I visited often. I just never wanted to interrupt her life. His eyes softened as he looked at Roshni. I saw your talent, and I wanted to be part of it, even in the shadows. A long silence drifted across the rooftop. Finally, Roshni stepped closer. You should have told me. You didn't have to hide. Arjun's eyes shimmered. Thank you for letting me be remembered. A soft wind brushed past. Arjun turned to leave. Where will you go? Kabir asked. Someplace quiet, Arjun whispered. To finish my last painting. He paused, looking back one final time. And detective, keep her safe. She's brighter than she knows. Then he walked down the stairs, coat fluttering, and disappeared into the morning light. Weeks later, a package arrived at Roshni's doorstep. Inside, a beautifully painted portrait of Roshni, standing confidently in front of a blank canvas, a symbol of her future. At the bottom corner, for the artist I always believed in, Arjun, Roshni placed it gently on her studio wall. Kabir stood beside her. He left quietly, Kabir said. Roshni nodded, but this time, he didn't vanish. If you like this story, please like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more thrilling stories.